Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a review/thought video. And for this one, I want to take a look at, or to give my take on, Season 1 of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man on Disney+. I watched all 10 episodes of that show, and for parents out there, it's worth pointing out that Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is rated TV PG here in the US. As far as Spider-Man is basically one of the most iconic comic book characters, along with others like Batman or like X-Men or Superman, but Spider-Man being part of the Marvel comic books and Marvel universe and everything like that. And as far as TV shows, there have been different varieties of TV shows with Spider-Man, indeed. While there are some like from the 1960s, the one that I remember the most growing up was the 1994 Spider-Man that was on Fox, which at one point was called Fox Kids. And that was one I remember. And that one sort of tied into the famous, X-Men, the famous cartoon from the 90s, which eventually we got a continuation of that with X-Men 97 on Disney+. And of course, we've seen different versions of Spider-Man over the years, from different shows to even movies themselves. We had, Tobey Maguire with the iconic, playing the Spider-Man in the early 2000s. I think Andrew Garfield tried with the Amazing Spider-Man, and of course the current one with the Spider-Man in the MCU, which basically has, a collaboration between Marvel Studios and Disney and Sony. So yeah, we've seen Spider-Man have been in different medias and everything like that. So I was sort of interested when it was announced that they were doing a new show, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, but this time with a 3D animation rather than a 2D animation. And I decided to watch this and see how I felt about the show. And after watching all 10 episodes, I will say I did come away pleased with this show and everything. While I won't go as far as saying the show will overtake the 1994 Spider-Man, which I hold with high regards, it still was definitely entertaining nevertheless. So I'm going to break it down into what I like and what I didn't like, mixed, or not 100% sure about. In terms of what I like, though, I will say I was kind of surprised with the 3D art style they went with this. When I first saw the trailer and everything, I wasn't really 100% sure about them taking this 3D approach with this new Spider-Man show compared to in the past where we've seen most of the Spider-Man TV shows have been on the 2D side. I think there was one I remember that went full 3D, and I think that was in the early 2000s. I think that was on MTV in the past and everything. But I was very curious to see how this one was going to handle, and I actually came away a bit more pleased with this than what I thought, though. I do like the fact how they took elements of like the old Spider-Man comic strips, from like, I think it was like the 60s or 70s or something like that, and sort of applied them into this, 3D art style. And I thought it was pretty clever, the folks at Marvel Animation pulling this off and everything. So I will say it wasn't that bad. I didn't think it was as awful as I thought it was going to be. And also, I also like the fact that there is a little bit of an MCU vibe to it, though. While I'm not sure this fits in completely into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it is nice that there are some mention of certain things like, events like the Sokovia Accord, which was from Captain America Civil War, to the mention of, the events from the Avengers when we had the aliens invading New York, though. And of course, even Daredevil, who's in the MCU, which I also like to note that I'm very pleased to see that Charlie Cox is voicing Daredevil in this show. That's certainly really neat. Unfortunately, we don't have, like Robert Downey Jr. voicing Iron Man, who makes a brief appearance in one of the episodes, or, Benedict Crumpton, if I'm saying his name correctly, I apologize if I'm not, voicing Doctor Strange, who makes some appearances here and there in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, but still, it has a little bit of an MCU vibe to it, and I definitely don't think that's necessarily a bad thing at all. I'm not sure it completely fits into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the live action shows, but I still don't mind this having a little bit of an MCU vibe to it, though. As far as what I didn't like or mixed or not 100% sure about, I will say I'm not too crazy about the idea of Norman Osborn knowing who Spider-Man is, who is Peter Parker and everything like that, though. I can't help but feel like that could have been saved maybe for maybe another season, or when Norman Osborn eventually becomes, the Green Goblin and basically finds out who Spider-Man really is. I think I just rather prefer that approach than this one, where it seems like him and Spider-Man are kind of teaming up to a certain degree. I just think that was kind of odd, at least in my perspective and everything. So I'm not too crazy about that idea. I'm also kind of mixed with Lonnie Lincoln in terms of the Tombstone character, though. While the end of season 1 kind of gives you an idea of him turning into Tombstone, I'm just not really sure about him and everything like that. I don't hate the character or anything. I just would have liked to have seen maybe one episode where he actually does turn into Tombstone and everything. Not this, we're building up to the point where he eventually turns into Tombstone and all. So it's kind of mixed in terms of how his character was sort of portrayed in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Overall, I would say I did come away pleased with the first season of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. While I don't think, like I said, I don't think it will overtake the 1994 Spider-Man, which I really enjoyed when I was a kid, though. But it was still a good show, nevertheless. At its best, though, I like the 3D art style. I like the fact that they drew inspiration from the old school Spider-Man comics. And I do like the fact that there's a little bit of an MCU vibe to it, and that certainly to me isn't a bad thing. But at its worst, I'm not too crazy. Like I said, I'm not too crazy about Norman Osborn knowing who Spider-Man is in the first season, and mixed on how Lonnie Lincoln, Tombstone's character, was handled. But in either case, I still came away pleased watching this show, nevertheless. And I would definitely be open to a second season, which I do believe they are going to do a second season. So it's certainly neat, indeed. I'm not sure this is going to tie into X-Men 97 or anything like that. I'm not. I think that's highly unlikely. But still, excuse me. Still, I did come away liking this show. Is it as good as X-Men 97? No, I kind of feel like that's in a league of its own. But it still was a good show, and I would be down for when season 2 does happen. I believe it is, but I'm not sure when it's going to happen. But I definitely would be down with a season 2 and all. Okay, this concludes my review/thought on the first season of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man on Disney+. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man on Disney+? Did you watch the show by any chance? Do you think it was good in any way? Or do you think there were other Spider-Man shows that you think did a better job by any chance, though? Do you like the 3D art style that they went with Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man? Do you like the fact that it has a little bit of an MCU vibe to the show by any chance? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You could do it through PayPal Me, Patreon, or Steamlat. Links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye.